Southern Company striking a deal to buy electric and gas utility AGL Resources for $66 a share this week. That's about $8 billion in cash. The deal will create the nation's second biggest utility company in terms of customer base. Tom Fanning joins us now on set to talk energy, the Fed, and more. He is chairman, president, and CEO of Southern Company. He's also chairman of the Federal Reserve Bank of Atlanta. It doubles your customer size, too.
Yeah, it sure does.
I thought you were just buying, diversifying more heavily into natural gas.
So, Joe, we've talked a lot of times in the past about this notion of Southern's really the only company in America doing truly all the above: nuclear, 21st century coal, natural gas, renewables, energy efficiency. What this deal does for us, we're already the third or fourth, depending on what day it is, largest consumer of natural gas. This is a big bet on infrastructure. We need more pipes. As we see more regulation going forward, as we see more penetration of renewables, we will need more gas infrastructure to support those kind of growth initiatives.
You, as pointed out in some of the analysis in the Journal and other papers today, you have tried to do the clean coal. You've tried to do nuclear in Georgia. You've run into regulators again and again in terms of not getting the rate increases you need, not getting the permits you need. Is this backing away from some of those and just admitting that the future is going to be more natural gas?
In fact, the nuclear project in Georgia is going great. I know sometimes things get portrayed in print a different way. In fact, from when that project was approved to where we are now, cost to customers has actually been coming down. You don't get that in the paper sometimes. Project was originally approved. It was going to cost everybody about a 12% price increase. Now we believe it's going to be between 6 and 8. The nuclear project is going great. Now, the one in Mississippi, the 21st century coal deal, has been a little troublesome, but we're working through that, and we're in the middle of startup right now.
Why, by the way, why do you think that this deal is going to go through? Why do you think regulators are going to approve it, given the energy deal, for example?
Yeah, because
some of the other examples where the regulators have actually stepped in.
Oh, listen, I think we've already seen statements from regulators in Georgia, the governor in Georgia, the Public Service Commission, everything else. At the end of the day, this works for customers' benefits. If we're going to move away from carbon-intensive resources, we need, by definition, to move more towards natural gas. In order to do that, even with this clean power plan that's just recently been kind of put forward, we're going to need to expand our gas infrastructure in a big way. The joining of AGL with Southern Company is going to allow us to do that.
Okay. So did you do this deal despite the news coming out of the EPA when it comes to the collecting of the methane, or is this going to help you actually fend off the increasing costs of higher regulation?
So remember, the methane deal is really about producers. We have nothing to do with producing natural gas. The EPA stuff I talk about is the Clean Power Plan, where there's this kind of overarching move away from carbon-intensive resources. So that's really why. It's the old Wayne Gretzky skate to where the puck is going to be. When you think about greater penetrations of renewables, because they're intermittent, right? What do you do when the wind doesn't blow and the sun doesn't shine? You have to follow those resources with something, and that something is likely to be natural gas.
Who would put something where the sun doesn't shine? Let me... that's an expression.
That's a rhetorical thing. Yeah, right.
Is Fed going to raise? I mean, you know about the Fed. Fed going to raise in September still?
You know, who knows? But I've said a million times on this show, what's more important than liftoff is trajectory. And I think we had Jay Powell on, what, 3 weeks ago?
That was before what happened, though.
Yeah.
If you listen to Larry Summers, you could have, it sounds like you could have the 10-year yield 2% for a decade.
Look, you know, I don't get all that excited about when liftoff occurs. I really think, you know, there's enough good data in the United States that they could probably go forward in September if they wanted to. They may delay to December.
Some people said 2007, so you don't need to get excited when, but what if it's 2017?
Well, but I think they'll move before. I mean, in my opinion, heck, I don't have a vote, but I think they'll move before then. I'm not.
Isn't that why you're on that board down in Atlanta? You don't get to decide anything?
No. No, you know what the boards do, though, and I think the Fed does a darn good job of this. By virtue of their districts all across the United States, they are really focused on trying to be in touch with what's happening, boots on the ground, what's really going on in the economies locally. It's not just a room full of economists. It's people that are really trying to understand the real economy in the United States
Did you
right now.
see a bump in the Georgia economy in the last 2 weeks when I was, I'm sure you did, when I was down there, no?
No, actually, no, I didn't.
It's probably going to be in the numbers that you haven't seen them yet.
Well, that's good. That's upside, right?
I
That's
felt
all
like
we
I
want.
was hurt very badly down there with fishing. A lot is very expensive.
Oh, Joe, you know what? I can't believe I forgot it. A friend of mine found a golf ball you lost.
That's
True story.
That doesn't make him unique. It's a tailor-made with my name on it, isn't it? And
Yes.
It's spelled wrong. At Ocean Forest?
No, what's the
Frederica.
other? Frederica.
Fabulous Frederica. Yeah.
Did he keep it as a
I
souvenir?
should have brought it. I can't
That's
believe
a
I
true
forgot.
story.
I actually have
He
it.
didn't want it as a souvenir? He didn't want it as a souvenir of a famous TV anchor's
no.
golf ball?
Was it up in an
No,
eagle's
no,
nest? The beautiful
Had a
wildlife.
big cut on it. It was awful. No, just kidding.
True story. You're not kidding.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you,
Yeah, absolutely.
Tom Fanning, CEO.
Great to see you.
of
Good to see you.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Great being with you guys.